Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name's Luke, and give a big round of applause to Brett Pastore. Brett, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's great having you on the show. This is fight week. You're a week out from your pro fight versus Jake Schilling at Brawl in the Berg 13 for 247 Fighting Championships at Monroeville Convention Center. But first, I want to ask you, you've had an incredibly busy in the MMA world 2022. I looked you up, you know, because of COVID and everything. Your last amateur fight had been in 2018. You had 3 amateur fights in 2022, made your pro debut back in May, got a great win at Ring of Combat, which is a great organization. And here you are about ready to have your 5th fight in 2022, 3 amateurs, 2 pro. What's it been like this year for you, jumping back in after your last fight in 2018? How has that been for you in 2022?
Been a wild year. I've gotten so much better over the course of the year. Just today, I watched one of my fights from like January, like my first fight of the year, and I'm thinking about how I was sparring last night, and I'm like, wow, I've made huge improvements this year. I've had, like you said, the 5 MMA fights. I think I've had a ton of grappling matches too, and Combat Sambo I'm competing in. I just got back from Costa Rica last week. Just had the Pan Ams championship, and Worlds coming up after this next fight with in Pittsburgh. So yeah.
So you're having the worlds coming up after this. And how did you do in the Pan Ams?
First place. So I won the Pan Ams. Then the coach sent me something. I'm currently ranked number 1 in the world, apparently, for Combat Sambo. So a little wild.
Wow. Now they do that all by kilograms. So what kilogram category are you?
Yeah, 71 kilograms, which equals 156.5 pounds. So it's the same as like lightweight MMA.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that is pretty close because you're going to be fighting at 55. So let's first talk about the Pan Ams. That's obviously incredible. Where were they again? You said out of the country?
Yeah, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
A city named Alajuela. Real cool place. Yeah.
And how many fights did you have? Matches did you have down there? And what was it like to be able to, I know it's you have to win to win. You can't lose. So what was it like running the tables there and winning? How many matches did you have?
Yes, sir. It was 3 fights that I had. My first round, I had Dominican Republic. Second round, I had Argentina. And then the finals, I faced a guy from Uruguay. So faced guys from all over. And yeah, a lot of different styles, a lot of kickboxers, a lot of judo guys. So it was a good experience for me and a good step up, good test of, you know, my ability to mix it all together.
Sure. And that's growing in popularity, partly because it translates well to MMA. We've seen a lot of Combat Sambo coming out of the former USSR, obviously Habib, and pretty much everybody in that camp has all trained that. What do you find as a future world champion? I mean, you're pretty close to worlds. You're ranked number 1 at 71, which is kilograms, which is incredible. What do you think makes Combat Sambo so good, both as a sport and as it builds up to MMA?
Yeah, it's a mix of striking and grappling. And so many people don't do that. They strike or they grapple. And then I hate this thing in MMA. Oh, are you a striker or are you a grappler? It's like, what? This is MMA. We all do both. I hate
to do both. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all strikers and grappler. Like, it's all got to be mixed together. And there can't be separate systems. That has to flow fluidly from one to another. And Combat Sambo is basically MMA with the gi top and some different rules, but it's essentially MMA. Yeah.
That does make it obviously apply very well to MMA because it's already mixed. I know the equipment that you mentioned, the gi, I know the gloves are slightly different, the equipment's slightly different. I believe you wear headgear and shin guards, but it's a very, and you're in like an open mat similar to a wrestling mat. So there's still a lot going on. Where is Worlds? Where are Worlds? I guess you mentioned that's coming up soon after your fight.
Yeah, a country called Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is next to China. It borders Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. It's like way out in Asia. So Kyrgyzstan is the location for Worlds. That's where I don't know if you know Valentina Shevchenko. She's from there.
Well, yeah. I didn't know she was directly from there, but it does make sense. All the stands have come out of what used to be the USSR, and so there's obviously Turkmenistan and some of the other ones. But yeah, that is That's fantastic. A world travel. It's one thing to go to Costa Rica. It's another thing to go all the way out that close to China. So obviously best skills to you coming up there, but we're a week away from your second pro fight. You're taking on Jake Chillin, who's 2-2. So he has 4 pro fights to your 1 pro fight. I know it doesn't necessarily matter because you've had a lot of other experience. Combat Sambo is a fight every time you do it. So you've had many more fights than that. What are you looking to kind of do when you make it into Pittsburgh? You made your debut in the New Jersey area, or from the New Jersey area. What's it like to come into Pittsburgh? What do you want out of yourself in a week when you make your, well, it's not your debut, but it's debut for 247 and your second pro fight?
Yeah, I definitely want to push the pace more than my last fight. My first fight, I used more of my striking, which, was good. I want to push the pace more. I want to go for a finish. And that's not being disrespectful to my opponent, but that means I just need to step it up, bring it into another gear. I know, these big promotions, the UFC and ONE FC, they want to see finishes. They want to see more excitement. And I think it's my responsibility and my obligation to the fans, to push the pace and really go for a finish, not leave it in the hands of the judges. That's what I want.
Well, that makes you a very fan-friendly style. And this time last year, you were still an amateur. This time last year, you were an amateur that hadn't fought since 2018. It's just mind-blowing to think that from 2018, really silent as far as MMA goes. I know you're doing other stuff. And then you've blasted on the MMA scene with 3 amateur fights and now about ready to be your second pro fight. Plus, Sambo, you mentioned that the higher promotions, ONE FC, Bellator, and obviously UFC, want to see finishes. I think another thing that they're growing in appreciation, you mentioned of Shevchenko, is I think they're growing in appreciation of other types of worlds, whether it obviously be Olympic wrestling. They've always appreciated that way back, but you're starting to see more like Muay Thai appreciation. People coming, Joanna Champion was a Muay Thai, obviously. Valentina was Muay Thai, but also Sambo. So I would think, your pursuit of a world title in Sambo also would build well in your MMA, where they could say, you're already the Pan Am 2022 champion at 71, and you're ranked number 1. And I think that's what MMA has always been. Hey, let's take people that are at the best. You're black belt winning in Abu Dhabi in BJJ, and bring them into the UFC and see what they do. So I think it's adding an exciting aspect to it. You said you want to push for the pace. You want to go for the finish. What would your prediction be if you're going to give a prediction? Obviously, it's okay if you don't want to give a prediction. It's been exciting to get to know you. Congrats on where you rank as far as Combat Sambo and being 1 week away from your second pro fight.
Sir, I'm not going to make a prediction. Maybe I'll pull out one of my old school catch wrestling submissions, or maybe I have some strikes that I've never shown before that I've been working on. I have some stuff in the bag, definitely, that I believe I can pull out. And I not going to give too much away about my game plan, but this is very exciting. I can't wait for this.
Well, I'm on board with you. I've seen Jake fight. He's the more local hometown guy. I love the fact that Jim Mooney, the head matchmaker for 247, is bringing you in. It's one of the things I always point out about 247 is the promoter, obviously the owner, Ryan Middleton, and his staff. They really want to put on great fights that are meaningful. They've sent people to the UFC, sent people to Bellator. And one of the reasons being is because they try to put on fights that matter. So your record is impressive. Your skills are impressive. If Jake beats you, that means more to Jake. And if you beat Jake, that means more to you. You want to have fights that matter, particularly at the pro level, but even amateur bringing up. They want to have fights that show skill level. Can't wait to see you live in action, Brawl in the Berg 13. Since you're from New Jersey, I'll just throw out that most of the people that are watching you can watch you on pay-per-view. They can give you credit for pay-per-view at 247fighting.com is the pay-per-view stream. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Congrats on where you are in Combat Sambo and your recent Pan Am win. Can't wait to see you live in action. Brawl at the Berg 13, 247 Fighting Championship, Monroeville Convention Center, October 1st. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. I just want to give a quick shout out. My team, Animals MMA, Blau Pre-Workout, and Snake Pit USA, Catch Wrestling. I want to shout out everyone. I'm just so thankful to all my training partners. thankful to you for having me. I'm thankful to 247 for putting on this great show. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Well, it's always great to see your list of shout outs and thank yous. A special thank you to you for coming on. It was my pleasure and honor to have you on. Congratulations to you. Thanks so much. See you in a week. Take care.
You too.
You got it.